8 p.m. Sunset in 15 minutes. I'm not going up there to record the sunset, just so I can slip on the ass in the wet grass and mug them back down in the dark. I am very tempted to buy another hammock. This hammock is gorgeous and lovely. The only issue is a good thing, which is also a bad thing, and that is it is a 3-meter hammock instead of the standard 2.4 meter. It is a 2-person as opposed to the standard 1-person. The issue with this, I mean, I think it's a brilliant size for me to, mooch around in. It's great, except the accessories are standard size. The rain tarp is obviously made for a standard size hammock because it only just covers the main part. Only just. It sure as hell wouldn't keep off a rainstorm. But if I had a standard size hammock that was half a meter shorter, I still have plenty of room because I'm 5'7", so that's less than 2 meters. So that would give me plenty of space. Plus the underblanket is doing a good job where it fits. But because it's for a 2.4 meter hammock, well, the rain's still dripping off. Because it's for a 2.4 meter hammock, where it covers is great. It's just that you can really see where it's designed to fit a standard size hammock, a single person 2.4 meter hammock, not a 3 meter one. So it fits. It's just, it doesn't feel quite right. Now, if I were going to go down the route of buying a hammock from America, or the ones in England, which are from America, DD is about the only ones I can see. I'd be looking at spending 70 quid. I think the cheapest is like 70 quid. That doesn't include taxes and delivery and all the other bollocks from Trump. But AliExpress, I can get myself a hammock for a £5, brand new. Pretty much like this, but normal sized. So it's a temptation. I have established that my little experiment with hammocking has worked. See, I've got a bit of a code arm on this side because the under thing is not quite high enough. Of course, if you try and wiggle around, because it's supporting your weight, not the hammock. See, I'm lying on the under blanket as opposed to the hammock itself because it's not quite long enough. And if I try to extend it, it doesn't fit right at all. And now it's just completely out of shape. Yep, it's easy to put back into shape. All you got to do is just take your hand and shove it under your hammock and give it a wiggle. And that's basically how you do it. And on this side, because you can still see through it, just give it a little pull. And yeah, I mean, it does go from here all the way around to here. So it's big enough. It just doesn't feel quite right. I think it's the length, and that's the issue. If I try and extend it, it's not going to fit the size properly. So for the sake of 10, 15 quid, because I'm pretty sure you can get a hammock the same as this basically, but your standard size, 2.4 meters, single person, for like 10, 15 quid. So that could be the next thing I buy. Another hammock, my third hammock. Well, the first one died because that was my fault. I parked it in the wrong place. This one's going great. It's just, maybe if I get one that is a standard size, that rain tarp will fit better. Because your standard ones don't come with a rain tarp. The 10 quid ones. And they do look a bit weird. Because another thing that's a concern for me, it's the underwire brassing. It's great as it is. You know, it gives it a nice bit of shape, but I'm always worried I'm going to snap it or bend it too much. Well, it's an easy fix if it does happen, but I don't know. It's something I might do. It's not something I'm desperate to do. But yeah, the under blanket is doing the job. It's not brilliant, but it's doing the job. I think it would do a lot better in a smaller hammock. Because it also feels like the hammock it's not sitting right. I think because it's got something underneath it that's too tight. And there's bugger all I can really do about it. But getting darker. Really should go for a piss. But do I go outside and stand up for the pee, or do I just lean over, get a semi, and well, I get a semi's a bit of a moot point at the moment. I just made use of my spare sock. Yeah. I was just having little thoughts about the first time I had a threesome with Kira and Michelle. Oh, it was funny as hell. You see, Michelle was, I think she was about 6 foot tall. She wasn't a farmer's daughter, but you think she was to look at her. But when I met her, I thought she was in her late 20s, but she was actually 18. Kira was the same age. I was 35. God, I felt so bad about that. Not for long, but anyway. But yeah, Michelle was always she wanted to do things with other people, or rather, she wanted me to make her do things with other girls, and she wanted to like watch me with other girls. Like, anyway, Kira had the same sort of body, but where Michelle was 6 foot, Kira was 4 foot 5. She's about 4.5 foot tall. Right, she could stand up next to Michelle naked, and Michelle could use her head as a tip rest. That's how short she was. Really, really small hands. Really small hands. Also little tits as well. Anyway, let's put it this way. One of Michelle's tits was the same size as Kira's head. Anyway, it was quite funny the first time. I was just remembering it. And this is when Michelle had this little bed sit. And Kira sat on the bed and just having a chat and a gossip. I flirted a little bit. And Michelle was there as well. Like, Michelle, you could let him do that? Because I just basically just pinched her nipple through her clothing. And Michelle was just grinning. And I just took her top off. Are you gonna stop him? You gonna let him? And I basically said to Michelle, right, are you gonna let that tit get cold or not? Are you gonna keep it warm? So I had to order her to suck a tit. If I didn't, she'd get pissed off. And yeah, that led to a rather eventful threesome. And technically my first threesome. Although threesomes were boring with submissive people because you've got to constantly restrain them, constantly do things. And you've only got so many hands. It was actually less effort and less energy to shack them both at the same time, but different bedrooms. Shack the girlfriend, go shack the spare, then go back and give the girlfriend the extra portion. She always has to have the extra portion or she gets pissy. Yeah, you want to make sure the primary gets an extra portion. But, yeah. And yet, even after all the adventures I've had, you know, dangling by the trees, by their ankles with bamboo whips and things, I miss it sometimes, but not that much. It is the stress and the grief. Of course I can't get pregnant. Giggle, giggle, giggle. I would never do that to you. I don't want baby. Right. And you've just gotten really fucking fat, and that last shit you had didn't stop crying until after you stuck a tit in its face. Yeah. Been there, done that so many fucking times. It's like, it's kind of, it's one of those times when you walk in on the girlfriend and you see her scraping the spunk off her thighs and shoving it up her cunt. I mean, I just thought, oh, fuck's sake. Turned around and walked out the room. It's that kind of deception. And they wonder why the relationship's no good. Well, admittedly, it wasn't exactly on a firm footing when I caught her French kissing our baby when he was 6 months old. The clues were there. What with her being Irish and her complaining to me one time about, I don't like my sister anymore. Why? I used to love watching her in the shower, but now she's old enough and she started to grow hair there, and it's not as nice anymore. It looks dirty. Yeah, that's just. It's one thing fantasizing about incest and fantasizing about underage. It's another thing entirely when you got a girlfriend who actually wants you to rape her baby sister. That's just fucking creepy. Yes. I was actually quite glad I did 3.5 years in prison for armed robbery, because at least that way I got away from her. Oh yeah, weird little branches I just noticed. It looks like a bloke, a skinny bloke hanging onto a tree. See if I can zoom in. That's freaky. I was looking at it earlier. I thought, what the fuck? Oh well. I think I did hear somebody walking a dog earlier, or that I heard the dog. But over the other, she's North Hill, up over the other side of it. It looks brighter on my phone than it is in real bloody life. Pretty dark and cold out there. Out there, I'm in a friggin' hammock with no roof. Yeah, on the other side of North Hill, half a mile away, they sort of park up in their vans for their druggy raves. It's still raining. Alright. Time to go to pee.